Well, people all over the world, even from Republic of Georgia, Iceland, are using the activities in their situations. When people want to use the Sharing Nature program, then that's people come to our Sharing Nature Training Week that we have actually at Ananda Village, and so we have people from all over the world come for that training, and that's the way to learn all the activities in depth. But I do trainings around the world, couple-day events, and we even have inner nature workshops that combines nature and meditation. And so people in Nevada County, it's a real opportunity to receive in-depth training here.
Like right here.
Yeah, where people are having to really travel far away.
Wow. Well, now, so we're having the conference on May 3rd through 8th. When will the any more formal courses be? The training week, for instance.
Well, that's the training week.
Oh, that is a training week.
Yeah, the conference is a training week where you can learn activities for teaching children, adults, for personal and professional inspiration, John Muir storytelling, practice meditation with others, vegetarian food, and we have classes on flow learning and just how to really enact change through inspiration, on a broad level. And this one of the most prestigious nature education organizations said that Sharing Nature started a worldwide movement and a revolution in nature education, and it's because the activities are experiential and people can have a lot of success with them. They're very engaging. People enter into them, and there's a process in taking people where you aren't trying to pull or push people, but you're leading them through their own inspiration so that they're going with you.
You're inviting them to be attentive to themselves.
Yes, yes.
I love this stuff. And admittedly, I haven't read completely through the books, but when I look at all these different exercises, I go, well, heck, you don't have to be a kid to do this. Yes. It's an all ages event at any time.
I like to say that Sharing Nature was secretly written for adults to bring out our lost childhood.
It's wonderful. Yeah, and I was saying before the show, before I was 10, we moved like 8 times. I never really got to comfortably experience one of the areas. And when we finally settled down, I was about 10 and lived in Connecticut. And we had a nature center that covered hundreds of acres of all kinds of different land. And I would go to this one spot every season. So I experienced this one area over a creek at the 4 different seasons. And it was phenomenal to just take that time out. I always agreed I would take a day off and do that, no matter how busy. I think all of us need that. Like we say, we're going to hit the river, we're going to do this and that, and you always find some other thing to get in the way of it. But nature that's our real environment.
We get in touch with a deeper aspect of life, and then we can bring that into our everyday activities with real clarity and inspiration, and we can accomplish a lot more when we do.
And and it makes you recognize where the real values in life lie. A lot of I study a lot of Tibetan Buddhism and Buddhism, and a lot of what seems to be a topic of discussion among the monks is that Westerners are always reliving the past or projecting the future, and nobody's being here now at all.
Yes, yes.
And being in nature is one great opportunity to do that.
I've heard about nature, all the spiritual traditions say that there's no ego in nature, and it's only with the human birth that you have that sense of self-awareness and ego. And I think that's why nature is so healing to be around, is that you don't feel the hearty give and take that you do in human society. And it's just pure joy and stillness. And we can, by getting in that environment, we really get in touch with our deeper nature that way. And it's the flow learning actually mirrors the process of meditation, if you look at it, because it's becoming alert and energizing yourself, and then learning to be more calm. And then when you're calm, you have a deeper absorbing experience with a deeper reality, or some other reality where you feel your sense of unity with it, which expands your sense of self. And then through sharing, celebrating it, you bring it more clear to your consciousness, and you bring it out in the world, and it's a way to expand it. And so it follows that universal movement of awareness as well.
It certainly does, and you get a feeling of the divine, you know, in nature. I mean, you can have any kind of religious conviction that you want, but once you get out into nature, unless you got your eye, well, you may have your eyes closed if you're going to be a camera, but unless you're not paying attention at all, you know, how beautiful is that? You know, and there are a couple of heck, I can't think of the name of this one book, but the fellow who wrote it talked about everything having its own. Being an entity and having its own isness, and that you know, recognizing that all of these things have manifested themselves. You know, if you want to believe the Earth started out as a you know, a Big Bang theory, and then things became the Earth. Everything on the Earth evolved from nothingness. And the beauty of this, well, these are fake trees, but they give you the impression, you know, you realize, well, how does that happen? You take a little seed, and the next thing you know, you have a giant redwood tree with leaves, and this is phenomenal. I'm getting off on a tangent. We had about 5 minutes left to go, so let's talk about anything that you would like to mention to folks.
Well, a large part of my travels has been to Asia and other countries where people have more of an intuitive experience of life. And it was very refreshing to go there and to see the level that people connect with nature. When I went to Taiwan, our Xiao, one of our Taoist sharing nature leaders, she works in a national park. As I was entering in, she had businessmen and lying down on the ground with their families, and they were all smiling like this. And this activity was called "Love Your Mother," and I just thought, you know, just you know how you know, people aren't just so intellectual, and they can really enter and merge with things. And so a lot of things that I've developed has been overseas, and I've taken back to America, where people are a little bit more rational. I mean, you know, there's thousands of people, of course, on our wavelength, and you know, having that deep experience. But this work is really international. The Japanese, they used to say, well, ask them, well, why do you have a Western program? They say, well, it's really both, and now they say it's an Eastern program. It's not an Eastern program because the Greeks said it's very Greek, and all the country claims it own. It's really just that intuitive experience that we have of our deeper reality, that we're united with everything else around us, and feeling a sense of joy through that experience.
Yeah, we transcend the boundaries of country or whatever, you know, whatever delineation you want to make. You know, you see yourself as being part of the bigger. You know, well, all right, I'm going off on another tangent, but tell the folks about your Audubon experience.
Oh, I right out of university, and I went to Chico State, and they were trying to make everybody a biology researcher, and I wanted to have more of an experience of nature, not just sort of be able to describe it through science, as science describes and our intuition perceives. And so I created a major called Nature Awareness, which combined having an intuitive experience of nature as well as a scientific understanding, and bringing both those worlds together. And so out of university, I applied to the Audubon Society, and I got accepted to 4 different nature centers for the training program. And Greenwich Village was more proper. They had asked me to send a picture of myself to them. The only picture I had was I came out of the Ishi Wilderness to Chico State to enroll for classes, and so the school photographer took a picture of me and put it in the paper. And as a joke, you know, a kid coming out of the Ishi Wilderness, so I sent that to Greenwich, and they said, "Oh my gosh, this picture, we can't take this guy." And then my friend who took me said, "Well, I took him," and then everything went from there.